Well, I've known Brad on Glee. We worked on quite a bit of stuff together, with my character. I always kind of, I read the script, and for some reason we always kind of found each other every time my character was going through something. And I loved working with him. And when I started writing this, even like 9 pages in writing, I told Robert and I told other people that he was the only guy that I thought for it. I thought he could make it like visually beautiful, and he's just a great director. I feel like he knows how to talk to actors and hold down the fort and everything. But after that, passed it along to Robert. Robert kindly passed it along to Brad. It took Brad a minute to catch up with it, but then Brad signed on. He was down to kind of work on it. He really liked it. We kind of saw eye to eye on how we saw certain things, like the carjackings and like just the arcs of certain characters and stuff. And then we picked up the Kickstarter. We raised $110,000 on there, and then a couple financiers came on board, and just kind of hit the ground.
What was the rough budget on that? Just a couple of million?
You would know.
Yeah.
We're glad you think that. That's a compliment.
I have no voice. 450,000.
We made it for pennies.
It is.
No.
Yeah, we'd be carjacking Ferraris.
Pennies and pennies and favors is how we made that.
Because of Brad, we had so many. Oh, first of all, no one took a salary as much producers or Blake as a writer anyway.
Yeah.
Or Brad. And because of Brad's connections to Glee, we suddenly were elevated with outstanding DP, outstanding crew.
Yeah.
So we were able to do it in such a short period of time because of we had the crew of a multi-million-dollar movie, even though it was a $450,000 movie. We also did a concert in Modesto to raise money, for which Blake sang out.
Yeah.
Who else was on the bill?
On what, for the concert?
For the concert.
It was Glee people.
Okay.
And Modesto people.
Local musician.
Yeah.
Nathaniel Stroud.
Yeah.
Can you do stand-up?
You stand up.
Oh yeah. The guy that plays Josh.
Josh in the movie. Yeah.
Early on in the movie, there's this incredible scene where you explode in front of your parents, and it's almost like a peak that's not going to be reached again. Just the emotional, depth that you have to go to. I mean, you're yelling, there's a fight that breaks out. Mm-hmm. And while there's a lot of tension in the rest of the film, that was just like Mount Everest almost. Was that in the writing, or was that just something
That was in the writing. Funny enough, that was like the first day of shooting of the movie. That was our first day. That was in the writing, man. That just kind of, to me, it's like, this kid, he holds everything in so much that like this is the point where it's just like he's had it. He's had enough. Everything's like all his demons are coming out. He's went through the shit with his friends. He doesn't know who he can trust, and he's just tired of coming home and just losing, like feeling like there's nothing, just giving shit all the time. So I feel like that's just his release. It's like the first time I view it as like his only real win, when he just like gives it back, because he's just taken so much shit from his stepfather. But that was always in the script. That was probably like one of the most important things to me too, to make sure we had it.
There's another scene. I'm going to blank on some of the names of the characters, but you're talking to your one friend, and it's the one who gets killed, or early on, and he's talking about shaved vagina versus hair. And was that inspired by Wolf of Wall Street, or was that just it was just a good rap?
Wolf of Wall Street wasn't out yet. And that's later in the movie now. But it's such a cerebral movie that it seems like it's earlier. And another compliment without knowing you're giving a compliment, I think, to Brad.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he wrote it way before Wolf of Wall Street though.
The circular movement of the film is just like you're going forwards, you're going backwards. How much of that was in the writing or in the filming or in the editing? Is there a certain point where either you or the director said, I want things to go backwards?
It's one of the last things that were added to the movie that perfected it to the way that it is. It was just a last second idea that Brad, the director and editor, had, and just out of his own mind. Just wanted to do that one day, and it worked.
No, because it throws you. I mean, there's a way of looking at the film where you look at how the characters are dressed, and then that kind of clues you in because you see those scenes are juxtaposed with other scenes which obviously are happening at a different time and space.
Yeah, no, that was when I wrote the movie, it was completely linear.
Mm-hmm.
So Brad, yeah, like Grant was saying, it was all just Brad's input. He was playing with this a while, and then I feel like he just stumbled upon just like really tapping into how crazy and like on hyperdrive a young adolescent's like mind could be. It's kind of like him remembering everything to me until he gets there. But yeah, no, that was Brad. It's beautiful because I love how a lot of the scenes do mirror each other. Like as you're like kind of going back and forth, it's kind of just backwards, like backwardly explaining arcs. It's cool. Like with Josh, like I haven't really seen something where you kill off one person and then you're kind of finding the heart within a ghost almost.
Yeah.
So
No, the recorded phone message I think is an important little piece of info.
yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that was all Brad.
Yeah, I think if you just had done one scene backwards, you would have just taken that at face value, but then you almost kind of expected it. You're almost like, okay, I'm kind of waiting for it again. And it's tricky, because like David Lynch will shoot a scene totally backwards, but that works into whatever, surrealism he's trying to achieve. But it's like there's one shot of the girl, she's walking through the diner, and then she picks up the drink. That's the last. The shot, but obviously they shot it where she picks up the drink and then walks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
I'm just saying it had to be thought out.
There was no plan to reverse it when we were shooting.
Okay.
That happened in the editing process because Brad, you also edited it, and there was no plan when we shot to reverse anything. That came way when we were way far along in post, and then Brad just did it. So we shot that forward, and then he's a brilliant dude.
Yeah. And one way that I really like that whole rewind thing, especially like a scene with Grant, where like I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but when you see what he's been eaten up about and like why he's so paranoid, that scene is not shown linearly, like with Josh. You're like kind of seeing it like with you, Nick, and Nate. And you really had to like tune in to see what actually happened. And toward the end, you get it that he's just like kind of abandoned this kid to just fend for himself and like his time of need. So.
The scene where you're holding the gun on each other, the guns on each other. Tell me about shooting that scene. I mean, was it long and complicated? Was there? Because that's the one scene in the movie I thought, okay, somebody's going to get shot here.
Good.
That's great. That's great.
No, and I was definitely my favorite scene to shoot in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a 7-minute scene all throughout. If it's not cut up, it's 7 minutes of us just going back and forth. And it was the most satisfying scene to act in and to do. There's a lot of ad-libbing, and there's a lot of just passion put into that with Brad, with everybody just giving us time and letting us work and letting us connect and letting us find it, and whatever came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. And I think the gun thing, when I say when my character says pick up the gun, that was ad-lib. Mm-hmm. And when I say aim it at me, that was ad-lib. In fact, Brad even said, "Don't do that." And then that's the movie. So yeah.
No, it's a good scene. It's it's strange. I really expected something definite, finite to happen there.
Oh.
And it's because it's obviously there's a break.
Kind of like playing chicken.
Like you guys have to make
weak
the break.
right
We know that you're not on the same page.
Yeah.
At this point in the movie.
Yeah, Mikey's kind of reaching to pull him back. He's trying to push away. To go
I
somewhere
think that's a weird way of your character trying to make Billy feel like he needs him.
Yeah.
Like you have the power, be with me. I'll look after you and shit. And like you just trade power. He's finding his own power somewhere else, his own drive.
Yeah, he's gravitating towards something else, and all of a sudden that gives Mikey perspective for the first time in his life. Like there is another option than the path that they're on, and he starts to see that, so that causes self-reflection, and then he starts to see Billy in a better light, and so that scene was like a culmination of all of that, and we shot that later in the schedule too, so we had done a lot of character building and been around each other a lot. Yeah.
You both have separate nude scenes in the film, but I mean, I would think, you're the producer, writer, and star. Why didn't you want your hard dick in the film, and you get the hard dick shot? Which is, you're not going to see that. That's
completely hard.
Okay, but I'm just saying that's something that automatically elevates the film. Like, oh man, you don't see that in just a studio R-rated film, which this isn't. But
Certainly wasn't a plan.
Okay, it just the frame
Blake
was
didn't write into the script. We see my dick right here.
No, yeah,
Okay.
but it just
Okay.
like makes.
We see Grant's dick right here. I think Blake and I were both going for it so much, and we were so dove into our roles that we didn't give a shit about showing
Yeah.
the dicks, you know, because you're just dove into the film.
You went the full Monty.
We
I'm
really
just saying. I'm just saying. You're gonna get a lot of dates. Yeah.
We're gonna be on Mr. Skin.
Oh, God.
You do see his penis though in it.
Like tiny.
If
bit.
you get.
Okay. I'm
Don't
just-
blink, but it's when he's in the shit.
But no, I think I don't think we're going for it just to be like, all right, this movie needs some dick.
Right,
I
right.
think it was like these boys are so like raw. It's like said it's cool. Like he's feeling insecure in that, and he's trying to like tell this girl off and like.
Well, I got the
Call her
impression
out.
like maybe you're on drugs or
I
obviously,
just think there's
and you're
something
just
cool.
not up to 100% performance level.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then the guilt,
Yeah.
preoccupied.
Well, and it's
There's
also
something
weird.
vulnerable
It's like,
about it.
where is that place? That's not your home. It's like some
Right.
clubhouse.
That
It's
is-
just like a.
That's where he's like squatting.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
more
Oh,
like-
okay, okay.
Yeah.
But I do think when you said it elevates it, what it does do is you immediately, the second you see a penis, you know that, excuse me,
This movie's not pulling punches.
you know this movie's not pulling punches.
Yeah, yeah.
You know that anything will go, anything, and that these guys were so brave that they didn't give a shit.
No.
You know, that they were just so raw and there. That's what I think it is. It was not set out to be, it just ended up.
It just happened, yeah.
Yeah.
I like this room. It's like the zombies. You're
I'm digging
born
this
at the
thing we're in.
windows.
Yeah, it's like
I've been in
Walking
this
Dead.
room before, and it's just like we're protected from whatever's out there. Melissa plays your girlfriend in the movie, and you had worked together on Supergirl. Was just an
Yeah,
instance
and
of
Glee.
like, oh, okay, and
Yeah,
Glee.
yeah.
Is this an instance of calling in some favors from some friends, just like, hey, because like when you told me how low budget the film is, it's just like.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like we were as I was like writing it, she was one of the people that I bounced it off of. But yeah, it was just like it was like everybody was a no-brainer when we were piecing it together. I knew that she'd be great in this role. Second Grant walked in, we knew that. It wasn't so much crew-wise, I think Brad pulled some favors, but cast-wise, we really just had to find the best people
Oh
for the
yeah,
roles.
for sure.
So with that, we weren't like, hey, you want to just jump in a movie? No, it took a lot of thought to piece this together. So yeah, cast-wise wasn't phoning in any favors or anything like that.
So was being on Glee, was that the huge stepping stone? Because all of a sudden we start seeing you in a lot of films. Everybody wants some Edge of 17. You got a couple other films coming out. This one.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, definitely. I was on a show called The Glee Project. But yeah, I mean that gave some like awareness to me. Trying to break through the acting career and all that stuff. But no, Glee was definitely just the first break to kind of like do that and get into different rooms for films and different shows and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
that was the start of my journey.
I mean, what's that like as an actor? Because obviously there's got to be a point where nobody's calling, and then there's got to be a point where all of a sudden the phone is ringing.
Yeah, I mean, I think me and Grant could agree the phone doesn't ring enough ever. You
It
never feel
seems like, I guess from the outside, it seems like it's an overnight thing, but very gradual,
Yeah.
and it's seamless to the person it's happening to. But we definitely wish the phone would ring a lot more.
Yeah.
We don't get a lot more. All of us don't get nearly enough jobs that we're up for.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, it was definitely a different change of pace when you're like going from like working at a pear shop and kind of like working at a Burger King and stuff like that, and then you kind of get a shot to do this for a living. But yeah, that was definitely my first big foot in the door.
You got another movie coming out called American Animals. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's I can't say too much. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but yeah, we worked with Bart Layton, who directed The Imposter. He's an incredible director, incredible guy. Yeah, American Animals is about the true story about these 4 guys from Kentucky that pulled off one of the biggest heists in the U.S. history. There's like a Vanity Fair article about it, and Bart, he read that, and it was just inspired. And it's, I can say, but yeah, they kind of they confused their lives for a movie, they start getting sucked into like doing this. They want to like leave their mark on society and like do something big because they're like grown up in suburbia, you know, and like there's just like a basic plan from where they're from at the time that they're there because it takes place in 2004.
Mhm.
But then after a while, it's just a test against themselves. It's like, can we really do this? Can we push past and actually leave a mark and do something different? So they just want to do something big at the end. It has nothing to do with like the heist or the money or anything. It's just following through on this like fantasy that they've built up in their heads. But it's really, really incredible.